Thanks for that introduction. It's fantastic to be here. And like you said, I've been really involved with charity work. But what I'm wanting to talk about today is how this charity work comes about. What is it in us that allows us to help other people? And that is altruism. So if we move over, before we start, I just wanted to define what altruism is. And it's simply the principle or practice of unselfish concern for the well-being of others. But how do we do this? What is it that makes each of us want to help other people? And why do some people do different things to other people? Why aren't we all big charity people that are giving so much? Because is it about money? Is it about time and effort? Well, that's what I want to look into. So why do we help others? Do we all have the potential for good, which I believe we do? And does altruism truly exist? I had to do a dissertation in high school kind of about this topic, and it kind of started from an episode of Friends where Joey challenges Phoebe to try and find a selfless good deed. And in the end, they can't find it, and it's this kind of ethical debate. And that's what I kind of wanted to look into with this topic. So what is it inside of us that gives us the ability to help others in the outside world? So the first part of that, I think, is genetics. So Dawkins' selfish gene theory, which he founded in 1976, says that all of our actions actually have a selfish biological basis. So Darwin's evolution theory looks at how inside of us we're looking to continue our genes. We're always looking for the opportunities that allow our own genes to continue. And that's what this is all about. If we're in a situation where we have to do something to help other people, we actually have a selfish intention that we want to help people who are the most similar to us, who have our same genes, so that our own genes continue on in that line. And while we like to think that we're helping everyone in the world, there is this kind of selfish intention inside of us, and we want our own genes to prosper and are more likely to help those who are genetically similar to us. And there's actually quite a tragic case that I'm going to talk about, which is Jordan Rice, who was a 13-year-old boy in Australia. And this is what started off my whole university essay. And in the Queensland floods in 2011, him and his family, which consisted of his dad, his mum, and his younger brother, who was 10 years old, they were stuck in a car that got swept away by the floods. And when the rescue team arrived, his younger brother couldn't swim, and Jordan was the closest to the exit. But he said to the fire brigade that he didn't want to be rescued, help his brother first. So he pulled his brother from the car, lifted his brother out, and as soon as the fire brigade or the rescue team got his brother, tragically the car broke away and him and his mother swept away. And it's a really tragic story, but this boy was only 13, and he made the decision to help his younger brother. He saved a life, and that was the last thing he ever did. And it's an amazing feat of human philanthropy, and he did that because of his genes and because of his amazing human being self. So we're going to continue on to another reason as to why we behave altruistically, and that is when we're trying to avoid disturbing situations. And it is another selfish intention, because when we're faced with a disturbing situation, we want to try and help them to get away from that situation. And a good example is yesterday was Red Nose Day. So if anyone watched the comic relief coverage, all the time they're showing you this footage of people suffering and ways that you can help. And on your personal level, you want to help, you want to have that ability to make a difference and to do something special. But it's also on a selfish cognitive level, because you are distressed by seeing these images, by seeing these problems, because you know they're real and you know people are suffering, and you could do something about that. And that's known as the negative state relief model by Schaller and Cialdini. And you do it to avoid distress and to avoid the guilt of not helping people. And these ideas, even though they have selfish intentions, they have incredible benefits. Even by thinking like you can help someone by seeing these videos, you are saving someone's life in the end. And it's an emotional reaction that makes a difference to people's lives. And sometimes this negative state relief model can be to not help people in situations. So there are situations in our lives where we see people who need our help and could benefit from our help, but to avoid this distressful situation, we ignore it. And that's where I found that charity work needed to be emphasised, because it's not fair to walk past situations where people need our help. Because in the world today, there are so many problems and so many issues out there that we all need our help. And it's come to the point where we all know the facts and issues, but we're still having to kind of ignore them because it distresses us so much, and we all feel that we can't stop these major issues. What can we do? We're just one person. But what I believe is that we're not just one person, because everyone has the ability to help other people. And the Bystander Effect, which is where we ignore things that go on, was based on another tragic story as well. The woman here is Kitty Genevieve, and she was in America back in the 60s, and she was unfortunately brutally attacked and murdered in a compound of flats. And what is so tragic about this story is that when the police interviewed the people in these flats afterwards, they found that over a dozen people had heard and had seen the attack, but not a single person had done anything about it. No one had called the police. And that's what started this research into the bystander effect, where we see something distressful happening, something tragic is going on in the world, we know about it, but we're not doing anything about it. And that was because they didn't want to get involved. They didn't want to have that burden on them and the guilt of it getting involved. And they expected someone else to do something. And that's where we're at today, where all these issues are going on and we're expecting other people to take the action and get involved. But that's not the case. We can't let that happen, because we all have to get involved if we wanted to make a change in the world. And it's actually really relevant. A lot of the speakers today have had that theme in their presentation, and while I'm kind of taking it from the quite tragic perspective, it is an incredibly positive thing to be able to help other people. And from a cognitive perspective, there is a theory that says we can all help people, and that's the empathy altruism model, which is Bateson's theory that if we feel for a cause, we are going to help it. If you find something in your life that means something to you, that you feel is important to people, you're more likely to help them. And if you feel that empathy and if you can connect with it, you're going to help them. And that's what we need to try and do with lots of different causes. And emotion and passion can allow us to help other people. And all this helping behaviour, it has selfish intentions. There's theories to back that up. But it doesn't mean these selfish intentions can have good benefits on the world around us. So I want to look at how you can make a difference to the world around you. So we continue on to talk a little bit about my story, because as it was explained, I'm only 18, I'm a first year university student, but at a young age, I kind of took on the idea that I wanted to help people. And that was before I looked into all these causes, but I decided to do a school project just to raise awareness about something in the world and to try and raise money. So I chose the cause of water, which is probably one of the world's biggest issues in today. And we all know the facts. Dirty water kills a person every 20 seconds, and 1 in 8 people still don't have access to clean water. And I thought it was such a basic thing to start with. So I started to fundraise to build just one well in Africa. And that was when I was just a little kid, just running about. I went up to my teachers in school, who I'm surprised they even accepted it, because I was just saying, I want to have this giant carnival, and I want to have celebrities, and I want to have all this going on, and I'm going to save all of Africa, and it's going to be amazing. And my teachers kind of just went, okay, how about you do a dress down day first and see how that goes? And luckily they didn't just shoot me down, because they kept going with it. And we'd had a dress down day, made a couple of £100 and donated it to different causes. But the fact that it was being able to help someone, I didn't want that to stop. And I continued through the rest of my high school career. And by last year, the single dress down day turned into a presentation, a bake sale, a mufti day with sponsors, and then a massive, huge World Water Day carnival with bouncy castles and slides and press, and managed to raise tens of thousands of pounds for charity. So it was an incredible opportunity, started by a little kid who just wanted to have some fun and make a little bit of money. And it was through the support of the people at my school that was able to do that. And even today, I can't understand how that idea spread so rapidly. And I just wanted to have the opportunity to do that more. But before I did that, I wanted to make sure that what I was fighting for, what I was working for, was actually genuine. So this summer, I travelled to Ethiopia, and I wanted to visit projects around the country and see the issues. And it was genuinely an incredibly life-changing trip. And it also revealed different things that I wasn't expecting to see. I saw the tragedy. I spoke to the people in different villages. I visited Kokoza and saw people in the health clinics who didn't have clean water. But the joy that people had. I mean, I saw on Comic Relief the other day, which they work for the same projects that I do, and the joy that all these children have is incredible. I was followed about all over the country by these amazing children who, just a high five and you practically made their day. They would light up. And the thing was, water was everywhere. I was there in the rainy season, so it fluctuated because you have the dry seasons as well. But there was water everywhere, and it was simple lack of resources. They had projects in the area that they could do things for, and it was just a simple matter of taking action, and that's what I decided to do. And you can see up here that after I returned from Ethiopia, from this incredible trip, I decided to continue my work. I knew I was coming back here for university. I lived in Dubai before, where I did my fundraising, but I came back here and decided that I wanted to bring a solid plan to make a difference. And that's where the idea of the Aqua Initiative came from. And it's a charitable organisation. Well, it's not fully registered yet. I still have a couple of weeks left. But it's a charitable organisation that works to bring clean water. And through fundraising events and through this use of empathy altruism, by feeling for a project, now that I've seen the people who benefit from this, the joy that it can bring, I know that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I thought when I was in high school I don't know, become a teacher or do something different, but now I know that I want to organise events, I want to raise awareness for these projects and to make a difference, because it turned out, I thought when I started this that it would just be one well, a couple of people, and that would be it. But it turns out, from the projects that I've had so far, literally thousands of people have been able to benefit. Actually, Seamus mentioned it earlier, but one of the things that the Aqua Initiative has actually invested in is the life straw. We've sent a couple of hundred of life straws to Africa and provided clean water through these technologies. And literally, the company that we used, it only cost about £2 for one life straw to bring clean water to one person. So it's an incredible opportunity, and it's not about money, it's not about time, it's about your own passion, your own dedication, because you can make a difference, and all it takes is an idea. If you feel something, if you could connect to a cause, you can make a difference to the world that we live in. And it's genuinely that simple. And how you do that, it's simply through having a belief in something, being determined to see it through, having the strength and the courage to take on such a big, ambitious thing, and doing it. Just taking the opportunity to do it. There's opportunities all around us. All the speakers today had the opportunity to come and speak at this event, and we had the confidence to do it, and we had the ability to make it happen and to make a difference. And you all have that ability, whether it's a selfish intention due to your biological reasons, but also because you're helping people and you can save people's lives, and you all have the inner ability to do something. And if it upsets and disturbs you, make a change. Don't let it happen to anyone anymore. So make your life count and make a difference. Thank you.